Men of Reddit. What's the most romantic thing a woman in your life has ever done? My girlfriend paid for a maritime course that I couldn't afford so that I could get a higher license and a better paying job. We're married now and I'm a captain. When me and my fiancé were dating, I always joked about visiting a place called Hillbilly Hot Dogs after seeing a post about it online. Well, a year or so after I first started talking about it, my boss calls me and tells me to head home early. This was about a week after my birthday. I ask him what's up and he just said the other guys will finish the day out. I get home and my GF told me to pack 3 to 4 days of clothes, but she wouldn't tell me where we were going. We hopped in the car and sure enough a few hours later we were in front of Hillbilly Hot Dogs. I couldn't believe it. We just had the best time eating there in the section that's an old converted school bus. After that, we ended up driving down to NC to stay at her cousin's near the beach for a few days and just enjoy each other's company. On the way back she said we would stop at any stupid roadside attraction I wanted to since she knew I loved them. Honestly, it was the most wonderful gift I've ever received. I broke my leg 3 months into a relationship. Unrelated to the relationship, my family had just left town that day. I had emergency surgery, she drove me to the surgery. Picked up my meds during the surgery. Picked me up when I woke up. Drove me back to her place and took care of me for a month there. This included sponge baths, waking up to give me painkillers in the middle of the night so I wouldn't wake up in agony, having food for me during the day when she went to work, and making sure I was happy overall. 4 years later and we are still together. If all that shit ain't romantic, I don't know what is. Edit. We've been looking at engagement rings for the past few months. Timeline is to elope next summer. Also, I've never had this many upvotes on a comment before and never received an awards before. I don't know the etiquette, but thanks everyone. On my birthday a few years ago my girlfriend told me to pack my bag and some warm gear. I thought she was taking me on a surprise camping trip. But instead we hopped on a train to the airport and flew to Norway. We ended up going husky sledding, spending the night in a yurt at the Husky Lodge, going snowmobiling up to a canyon, staying in an ice hotel, and going on a Northern Lights tour. Lucky enough to catch a particularly awesome display too. She also made the effort to get in touch with a guy the first had recently done some business with online who I had really liked. He picked us up from the airport in a chauffeur hat with a sign, and then took us all around Oslo to see the sights and to meet his family. Truly a special holiday. We're now engaged. My girlfriend, now wife, spent 7 hours using public transportation to surprise me at home. Imagine this, coming home from a full 8-hour shift starting at 6 a.m. Lifting heavy displays, TVs. I come home. My bedroom door is locked. I dead ass think it's my younger brother pulling a prank on me. I knock just wanting to go sit on my computer and watch some videos or play some games. When the door opens, to my surprise there is the love of my life standing there telling me to be patient. My eyes tear up from a combination of feelings, mostly joy. We hadn't seen each other physically in over a month, just Skype. It totally made my day and weekend. Happily married 5 years. Edit 1. Clarified bedroom door. In the movie Die Hard, a girl runs and throws herself into the arms of a guy she is meeting, who is getting off of a plane. She jumps up and into his arms. Ever since I saw that, oh so many years ago, I've wanted someone to be so thrilled to greet me that they threw themselves into my arms like that. It took me 40 plus years. But it did eventually happen. And the girl had no idea it was something I'd always fantasized about. It became a thing for us. When we hadn't seen each other in a while, she'd run and just jump into my arms. Was a girl I lived with for 6 years. Right in the middle of it all I landed the best job I've ever had. Although she was having personal issues at the same time, we decided that she stays home till it all get under control and only I would work. This went on for almost a year. When my birthday came around she went to visit her mom while I was at work. Borrowed construction paper from her younger brother who was still in school, and she made decorations and put them up in every room, all over every wall of the whole house. The amount of effort she put into this was probably more than I put out at work that day. My jaw hit the floor when I saw it. We split up about a year ago, but I still have a box full of the things she made that day and I plan to keep it even longer. Helped me move. I never felt more loved than when I was flipping the hell out trying to get packed and figure out how I was going to get everything to me apartment, and my very organized girlfriend drove out from an hour away several nights in 1 week to help me make it happen. I was running a fever and slept on the couch outside. Throughout the night I would wake up to see my girlfriend kneeling on the floor. using a wet handkerchief to sponge me down. I love her so much. I was having a rough day and she simply put my head on her lap and petted my head and gently scratched me until I fell asleep. I didn't have a mattress throughout high school, and my then girlfriend came over for the first time and she looked very disgruntled. So she talked to her parents and arranged a surprise visit for me to go to IKEA and get a bed and a desk. I've never loved someone so much. Pulled me to a dance floor dragging a chair behind her. Standing up on the chair and we danced. I am quite tall. She made me a scrapbook of our entire relationship and saved everything from all our previous dates in order to put it into the book. She also got me a custom guitar pick with our anniversary. Man, I love that woman. A girl I knew I had a thing for her, so she pretended she couldn't find her phone. Then asked if someone could call it. I said sure, what's your number? We got married a year later for 15 years. She bought us tickets to Cedar Point even though she was afraid of roller coasters. I had watched an animated Disney music video and really enjoyed the song. Sounds similar to Over the Rainbow. Weeks later, the girl I was dating surprised me by playing the song and singing it for me. She had been practicing to surprise me. My birthday was the 9th, and since we can't go out, she made me my own escape room in our house. It made me feel so loved I almost cried. I lucked out with the greatest girl in the world. My long-distance GF flew 6,000 kilometers to spend her 2 weeks winter vacation with me. I dated a girl who decorated a matchbox with the message, "We're a great match," and filled it with edible matches. Little pretzel sticks dipped in colored chocolate at the end to look like a match. She clearly put a lot of thought and effort into it, which was really what meant the most to me. Unfortunately, no, we're not together anymore. Edit. We broke up for a few reasons. We were in an LDR several hours apart. Some long-term compatibility issues, etc. It kinda messed me up for a while. Because she was a really sweet girl and I liked her. But, ya know, life goes on and so must we. We still chat every now and again. We're on good terms. My wife cut my hair tonight cause I can't go to the barber and she knew it was bugging me. It won't seem like much, but it was a big deal to me at the time and kind of still is. We had only just been dating a few months. Only a few dates under our belt due to both of our busy schedules. And I don't know why, but I couldn't shake this feeling that she just wasn't into us. That she was just playing along for some other ends meet that I wasn't aware of. But near the end of one of these dates we were on her couch just chatting with my arm around her like I usually do. And then she got up to roll herself a cigarette as she was still in the middle of quitting at the time but still smoked when stressed. And as she got up off the couch, she leaned back down to me to give me a kiss. This was our first kiss that didn't feel like a mandatory goodbye kiss, as that was the only kind of kissing we had done before this. And for some reason it kind of just melted away those doubts I had. A little while later I asked her about it and she told me, "I know you're disgusted by my smoking. So I wanted to kiss you before I smoked." The fact that this felt like our first genuine kiss together and that she thought of me and my feelings in that way just kind of reassured me of the relationship, and we're still together today a year later. The lady next to my house said that my hair looked nice. After a particularly bad day, laid my head on her chest, pet me and told me everything would be okay. I lost my favorite pair of sunglasses at a building on campus. By the time I realized I was in my dorm and was swamped with a paper, I was upset and expressed this to her. She left and came back soaking wet. She went back to campus and walked along every path I had taken and checked the building for me to try and find them as a pick-me-up. Unfortunately she couldn't find them, but it was so sweet. Threw me an unbelievable surprise 50th birthday party that had 75 attendees including friends from out of state and kept it a complete surprise from me. Absolutely blew me away the amount of work, months of coordination, and care that she put into it. One of the best nights of my life. This was just this past January. I got her a calendar with pictures of dogs pooping on it. Pretty sure we're even. My wife did a few things for me that I definitely consider romantic. There was a time I was really hungover, so she, being a paramedic, started an IV on me and put 2 bags of fluids on me. Made me feel a lot better. She would also make me breakfast and bring it to me just as I was getting up for work in the afternoon. I work nights. She would also shave my neck when I couldn't get to the barber. I never asked her to. She always offered. Fuck. I miss her. While I was working the whole day and eating shit like junk food, she cooked and placed it in front of my door while I was at work. She lived 1 hour away from me. So she just drove for that. Coming home, seeing all that delicious food in front of my door was heartwarming. I'm hopefully marrying her this year. My last girlfriend arranged a surprise birthday party for me at a trampoline park. I was turning 30. I've always had a passion for astronomy, and it had been a childhood dream of mine to see the CERN supercollider in Switzerland. My GF, not being much scientific herself, didn't understand the beauty of such technology. She's an English teacher. Started to cut back on expenditure on things she liked for a couple of months. I occasionally offered some financial support, but she always kissed me saying there's nothing to worry about, and so like any partner I worried my ass off. Some months passed. It was nearing my birthday. I hadn't seen my GF all day as she went to work, yet she arrived late. She came up to me with an envelope and simply sat beside me, anticipating my reaction. I slipped out 2 tickets to my childhood dream into my hands, as well as cried like a child in her warm embrace. I'm smiling so much typing this. But she, without even leaving any hints, sacrificed so many months of comfort just to fulfill a dream of mine. She, now my wife, currently live in Switzerland and live a couple hours drive away from the facility. I'm currently trying to assemble an elegant trip abroad just for her to the Maldives after this whole lockdown eases. I've never loved someone so much. My wife paid off all my debt and student loans with a smile and hugged me after she did. She didn't have an inch of sadness parting with all that money. I have autism and she continues to support me and all my strangeness. I'm extremely fortunate to have her.